I'm Laurie Blake. Welcome to the WrestleTalk news on Wednesdays because Luke's taking time off after doing SummerSlam stuff this weekend and will be covering me on Friday, so you can all rag on him then when he inevitably won't be wearing pink, which means I'm here now on Wednesday. On a Wednesday, we wear pink. Our top story involves the big behind-the-scenes goings-on in WWE, i.e. the merger with the UFC Endeavor. Now, those of you with a superstitious mind frame might take Saturday's MMA-style match between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler as an indication of how this particular merger is going to go. I don't know, I can't say. I don't know if it's going to be a harmonious marriage made in heaven or a scrappy mess that somehow misses both the point of wrestling and MMA simultaneously. And yes, one of those was a jab at the match from SummerSlam. Can you guess which one? Anyway, points go to Shayna for the Chaos Armor gear. That's really cool. Alls I know is that this merger is happening soon, because at the time of the merger's announcement, it was revealed that it wouldn't be complete until late 2023. And now, thanks to an Endeavor press release, we know that the transaction to combine the two companies will complete mid to late September, which brings with it some bad news. The first bit is a report from a while back that Vince's role in WWE Creative is likely to grow. Just says, oh goody on here, oh goody. And the fact that part of the reason for the merger will obviously be to consolidate certain roles in both companies into a singular role that deals with both WWE and the UFC, which inevitably means layoffs are coming as Endeavor tries to streamline its operations. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, who reported on the press release, was inundated with queries about the potential layoffs and whether people imagined it would stretch to talent. And he had this to say on Twitter. I don't have a strong impression about whether talent cuts will coincide with closing. Employee layoffs are widely expected, unfortunately. Now, with the deal going through next month, it's only a matter of time before the restructure is revealed, so hold on to your butts. Back to talk about the actual kayfabe side of wrestling, which only has mildly less backstabbing and corporate shenanigans. Now, Saturday night at SummerSlam, we got the next depth of depravity as brother turned on brother when Jimmy Uso returned to WWE to take out his twin Jay during his match with Roman Reigns. Talk about tribal grief. Now, Roman Reigns reportedly suffered an injury during the match, which Fightful Select has confirmed, though the head of the table is still expected to appear on SmackDown this Friday. But that's about all we know of what's to come next in the ongoing saga. Why did you do it, Jimmy? Jimmy. Why'd you do it, man? Common consensus, though, is that this will lead to a brother versus brother match, potentially at Payback next month, in one of the more confusing bits of wrestling to watch, since choosing to play as Aubrey Edwards in AEW Fight Forever and still having her there as the referee also. It's a good game. Though apparently some would like the sibling SmackDown to take place on a grander stage, as reported by WrestleVote on Twitter, who said hearing that at least one creative force backstage wants WWE to wait to WrestleMania to do the first Uso brother versus brother match. Does Uso mean cousin or brother? Which one does it mean? It means cousin, doesn't it? Yeah, it's like bro. Before adding, however, that's unlikely at this point. I'm told with the feeling that 35 weeks is too long of a stretch. But 3 years to get to this, it's not. It's not. Following news of not only Roman Reigns' injury worries and Sonya Deville's unfortunate torn ACL injury in a matter of days comes yet another potential blow to WWE's plans, as it appears that Sami Zayn is set to join the injured list. Now, if you watched Raw this week, this isn't exactly brand new information, as Zayn's injury was used as a vital plot device, facilitating not only JD McDonough's attempt to impress the Judgment Day, but also the Shinsuke Nakamura heel turn at the end of the night. And also it was sticking out of his arm at a really horrible angle. However, while it was used as part of the storyline on the show, there clearly is a real issue there, namely that massive golf ball in Sami's left elbow. Because yes, in a throwback to John Cena's infamous 2013 injury, Sami's elbow was noticeably, and I think medically, trying to break out of his skin. Now we have a bit of clarification as to what the situation is, courtesy of Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer. Because speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer confirmed that McDonough's attack on Zayn was a cover for Zayn's legit bursa sac injury, which is the technical term for the thing growing out of his elbow, and not a sort of one of those little alien guys that then turns into the big alien guy. Fightful Select also later added that all of Zayn's spots on Raw were planned to happen, with nothing changing due to the injury. Meltzer also speculated on what WWE may do with the undisputed tag titles now that both Zayn and Kevin Owens are on the shelf. But despite Owens being out, Meltzer said that he can still work with the company, just currently allowing him time to rest and recover from his ongoing rib injury. However, this was meant to just be short-term, hence why Zayn and Owens haven't relinquished the tag titles, although now with Zayn also hurt, those plans obviously a little bit less clear. We at WrestleTalk would like to wish both Zayn and KO all the best in their recoveries, and I'm really hoping this isn't the beginning of the alien takeover. While Zayn and Owens shouldn't be out for too long, one man that we likely shouldn't expect to see on WWE TV for a while is the Beast Brock Lesnar. Probably from embarrassment, because his shorts split open, didn't they? That was fun. That was the best bit of SummerSlam. Following the excellent conclusion to the not-so-excellent feud with Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, Lesnar, of course, brought Cody in for a good old Brock lock, aka a nice warm embrace, probably in the hopes of shuffling out of the arena without revealing his penis. The heartwarming moment of humanity from Lesnar had the feeling of almost passing the torch, especially with questions regarding Lesnar's long-term WWE future cropping up earlier this year. Now, Lesnar stated in an interview with UFC legend Daniel Cormier prior to WrestleMania 39 that he wasn't sure how long he would continue in WWE, as well as revealing that he even considered himself retired as far back as WrestleMania 36 in 2020. While this would lead many to perhaps anticipate a Brock Lesnar farewell soon, what we perhaps do know is that that farewell did not come at SummerSlam, because according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Lesnar will be back in WWE. However, it likely won't be until around WrestleMania 40 season. Now, Meltzer revealed that Lesnar was in fact originally advertised to feature on another premium live event later this year. However, that now looks to not be the case. And with Lesnar embracing Cody at SummerSlam, one can only hope this version of Brock we see is more happy farmer Brock and, well, less angry farmer Brock. Sticking with those MMA guys and gals, there is also a little update on the status of Ronda Rousey following SummerSlam, because reports suggested that the Rowdy One would be set to depart WWE following her match with Shayna Baszler on August the 5th. However, according to PW Insider, Rousey is still currently listed on the company's internal roster at present. But it may only be a matter of time before this changes, however, as Baszler made a reference to sending Ronda packing from WWE on this week's Raw, and Rousey herself took to Instagram to say, "Baszler, you were the reason I got into this business. Now I got no reason to stay." Curiously, however, Dave Meltzer did describe Rousey's SummerSlam match as her WWE farewell, at least for now, so perhaps she may be back at some point after all, like a sort of Royal Rumble surprise entrant or something, because that worked out well last time, didn't it? I don't think it did. I don't think it didn't. It says there it didn't. As well as injuries, heel turns, and a whole lot of Triple H booking, this week's Raw saw the debut of our brand new commentary team on Monday nights going forward. The brand new team is, of course, not very new at all, as WWE decided last week that they would be swapping the Raw team of Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves with the SmackDown team of Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. The exception, of course, being that Cole would also be remaining on the blue brand as well as moving to the red one. He's a busy boy. This is, of course, a whole heap of Michael Cole in our ears from week to week, with PW Insider reporting that the Endeavor overlords want to establish Cole as the face of the product going forward. While fans are rather confused by the change, it seems as if the feeling is shared by one current commentator within the company also, as NXT's Booker T discussed the decision on his Hall of Fame podcast. Booker's feeling of perplexity towards the decision is not only because of the toll that doing both shows may have on poor Michael Cole, but also why WWE decided to not give an opportunity on the main roster to longtime NXT voice Vic Joseph instead. Booker said Cole ain't never going to be able to retire. He can forget about it. It's hard finding the next Michael Cole too, but I'm glad in a lot of ways, but I'm perplexed in certain ways just because I'm waiting on Vic to get a shot. I'm waiting on Vic Joseph to get a piece of the action, champagne wishes, caviar dreams, and all that. I have no idea what any of that means. Joseph did previously have a brief stint on WWE's main roster on Raw in 2019, but has not received another chance since being the NXT's lead commentator since August 2020. How do you feel about WWE's commentary changes though, and what would you have done to make things different? And the answer is probably Mauro Ranallo, but let us know in the comments down below. With us now in the 8th month of 2023 and the Endeavor deal nearing its completion, it seems as if finally WWE is set to bust out the old checkbook once again and start signing some talent. Because yes, despite this time last year where we saw anyone and everyone return to the company, 2023 has obviously been very quiet for signings, reportedly due to the aforementioned Endeavor acquisition. You gotta stay lean, you gotta stay fast for corporate acquisitions. But now with Kairi Sane seemingly on her way back in the autumn, Nick Aldis potentially joining as a producer, which is still weird, and Carlito also somewhere, an orchard maybe, there may be another to officially add to the recruitment list. This is former AEW star Brian Pillman Jr., who was previously reported to be potentially joining WWE following the expiration of his AEW deal last month. Now, Pillman was reportedly at the WWE Performance Center shortly after his AEW departure, with a deal reportedly in place between the two parties as of 2 weeks ago. And now, it seems as if we have some extra confirmation that Pillman will in fact be heading to WWE, as Fightful Select have confirmed that the second second-generation star is in the process of relocating to Florida and is believed to have now signed with the company, according to PW Insider. Brian Pillman's got a son. PW Insider also notes that Pillman was even slated to be in attendance at last night's NXT in Orlando. However, it's currently unclear whether that happened. Moving across to Pillman's now former home of AEW, and it's time, dare I say, to take a peek at those Collision ratings. You know, the ones went up against SummerSlam, and yeah, that it went about as well as expected. Because after a very strong showing in both viewership and the 18 to 49 demo for the week prior's, the July 29th episode, with 739,000 viewers and a 0.27 rating respectively, the highest in both since the June 17th premiere, things went way worse this week. Now, according to WrestleNomics, the August 5th Collision finished 16th overall among cable originals and dropped around 43% in viewers, scoring around 417,000 on average. Collision also drew just a 0.13 in the 18 to 49 demo, a drop of over 50% on the week prior. Those numbers are the show's lowest since its existence began, since time immemorial. However, in AEW's defense, not only was there SummerSlam to contend with, but also UFC and the anticipated Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz boxing match. But still, yikes. That's a sore one. That's a sore one. It's normally a bit where I go happy Friday, but it's Wednesday, so 2 more days of work. Suck it, fellas.